Life Empire himself, Mr. LVS Designs, Mr. Trending motherfucking topic. You feel me? Mr. Says Syrian Express, Mr. I Am Me, Mr. Lyrical Voice Incorporated. Sheesh. You heard? But look though. So as y'all can see, right? As y'all can see, based on the title, um, this is how I met Finesse 2 times, brother. No love. You feel me? But look, real quick, before we get into this story time on how I actually bumped into him, how I bumped into No Love. You feel me? Now look, let me go ahead and clarify this real quick. One, understand this, bro. Look, I don't chase clout. I don't need clout. You feel me? I ain't got look. I just ain't got time for all that. You feel me? Like clout chasing and doing all that other nonsense. Like that shit gets you fucked up. It do. It gets you fucked up. You feel me? But keep in mind, I had already been traveling for like 12 years at this point. You feel me? I had already been traveling for like 12 years at this point. Now, now look, now when I met No Love, right? When I met No Love and shit. Now look, there may be periods where I might have to backtrack or whatever, but just follow along if you can. All right. So when I met No Love, right? I was leaving. When I met No Love, I was leaving Arkansas. I was leaving Arkansas. No funny. You feel me? And while I'm out there, you feel me? Keep in mind, I was in Arkansas for like 6 months. 6 months flat, right? Goddamn. Originally, I went out there to, do some things, but things ain't go according to plan. So routes had to be rerouted. You feel me? Routes had to be rerouted. But you feel me? So I end up leaving Arkansas. And in the midst of me leaving Arkansas, I'm on the Greyhound, right? So boom, I'm on the Greyhound, on my way to Miami. I'm leaving Arkansas, headed to Miami. You feel me? Leaving Arkansas, headed to Miami. So boom. Now of course y'all know like when you on a Greyhound bus, you got little drop off spots, you got layover spots, and all types of other shit, right? You got little layovers and shit. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. So look, boom. So, all right. So where was that? All right. So yeah. So look, I was headed to Miami. Headed to Miami when I met No Love, right? Now, like I said, now of course y'all know when you on a Greyhound bus, a Mega bus, or just traveling by bus in general, you got there's layover spots. You know, there's layover spots that you gotta, pit stops and little whatever the case, just in case anybody may have to use the bathroom, or you may want to, stop somewhere, get some like refreshing up on snacks and all that other type of good jizz nonsense or whatever, right? And so, boom, leaving Arkansas on the Greyhound bus. It's late at night. It's probably like probably like 3 in the morning, like 3 a.m. or something like that, right? I'm waiting on the bus and shit. Man, I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping like majority of the ride there. Majority of the ride to on the way to Miami. You feel me? I'm knocked out. Music playing video games or whatever case may be. You know, typical traveling shit. Typical traveling stuff, bro. And bro, I lie to you not. I lie to you not, G. We get off one of our layover spots, right? Now keep in mind, when you traveling like that, right? When you traveling like that, you just so happen to when you're traveling like that, right? You just so happen to, you know, bump into some people. You're gonna run into some people. Now, me running into no love, bro. Me running into no love, bro. Finesse 2 time, brother. I promise, like I lied to you not, bro. When I ran into him, bro, that solidified that I was meant to be in Miami, bro. That solidified that I was meant to be in Miami. Like, now keep in mind, now look, y'all see the wicks, man. Y'all see the wicks, bro. Like y'all see the wick game. You feel me? Y'all see the wick game. You feel me? Straight Florida style, natural grown wicks. You hear me? Now for those of y'all for those of y'all that don't know, you know, if you know about wicks, you know about Florida style wicks, you gonna understand that everybody wicks ain't gonna look the same, right? Everybody wicks ain't gonna look the same. You heard? So boom. Now, for those of y'all that know, you know, wicks, you know, you start them off with the rubber band using that water. You heard me? You heard me? Rubber bands on water. That's all you doing. You hear me? You hit that motherfucker with the aloe plant. You hear me? Yeah. You know, you do your third division. That's all you do. Water. You feel me? Water, soap, and aloe. You feel me? Every now and then you hit it with that. Every now and then you hit it with that motherfucking, you know, with a little bit of oil. Every now and then keep it fresh and shining, looking good. Right now my hair's a little ashy, but it's alright. Just run some water through the thing. You feel me? But look though. So, goddamn. Now keep in mind, I had my wicks. Now keep in mind, I low key had my wicks done. I got my wicks done before I moved to Florida. You feel me? I was in Minnesota when I started my wicks. You heard? I was in Minnesota when I started my shit. Now, for those of y'all that know, I had already had locks. You heard? So I just went on there and wicked them hoes up. You feel me? But yeah. Anyway, so with that being stated, back to the story. Yeah. So boom, one of our pit stops, right? Just so happened to be in Memphis. You heard me? Shout out to my Memphis people, man. I ain't gonna cap. Y'all music, that Memphis music, that Memphis music be lit though. I ain't gonna hold you. But nah, shout out to Glorilla. She doing the shit. Shout out to Glorilla. She doing the shit. I ain't gonna hold you. Finesse doing this thing. You feel me? Louisiana artist, young boy. Of course, you know you doing. You know, hottest artist of the year, 2025. You heard? But yeah though. So boom. One of our pit stops just so happened to be in Memphis. One of our pit stops just so happened to be in Memphis, right? So boom, you know, I wake up, do my little stretch and shit. You feel me? Do my little stretch and shit, bada bing, bada boom. And next thing you know, bro, I get off the bus. I'm like, I get off, I do my little shit, I'm like, I get off the bus, I'm like, do my little shit or whatever, right? And I hop off. I'm getting ready to do my little streaming shit, right? Next thing you know, I'm like, that look like Finesse. I turn around, I'm like, ain't you Finesse, brother? Like, yeah, no love. I'm like, oh my mama's like, yo, Slim, you funny as hell. I'm like, son, you funny as hell, Joe. Like, on my mama. So look. So I'm like, bro, you funny as hell, G, on my mom. Now, we chopping it up or whatever. Now, Finesse, now, No Love was on his way to Atlanta. No Love was on his way to Atlanta, you feel me? Like, he was on his way to Atlanta to go meet up with his brother. And just so happened, right? We chopping it up. You feel me? We talking business or whatever the case may be. Woo wah wham or whatever. Now, buddy, like, so now keep in mind, I'm thinking like, bro, your brother, your brother head honcho, like, what you doing? What you doing on a bus, my boy? Like, you ain't on a tour bus? Like, you ain't in a Sprinter van? Like, you ain't flying, my boy? Like, why are you on the Greyhound? You feel me? My mama, look, this is what he told me. This is what he told me. Look, he had his whole entourage for him and shit. So this is what No Love told me. No Love's like, he was like, I ain't gonna hold you. He was like, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't like flying, bro. I don't like flying. That's why I'm not on the plane. I don't fuck with planes. I don't like flying. So at this point, I want to say we was probably like hours away from. We was probably like hours away from Atlanta. You feel me? We was probably like hours away from Atlanta, and so keep in mind, Atlanta was where he was getting dropped off at, so he gonna meet his brother and shit. So we was like hours away from Atlanta, Bob. You know, we had one of our we had our next layover spot and shit. You feel me? Everybody hop out the bus. We all smoking. You feel me? Talking, chopping it up, talking bitches or whatever. Blah 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 blah. And boom. I get buddy information and shit. He take mine down or whatever. Now granted, I ain't do nothing with it. You feel me? But granted, I ain't do nothing with it. Like that right there, like low key was like solidified that me leaving Arkansas, going to Miami, yeah, it was a good move. It was a good move. I ain't gonna hold you. Now, now here's the thing. When I was in Miami, bro, I met so many other different stars out there, bro, that low key solidified that I was where I'm supposed to be. I ain't gonna hold you. That was where I was supposed to be. But look, if y'all want to hear the story about how I met Kodak, if y'all want to hear the story on how I met Juvenile, how I met my celebrity crush Miss Twerk song, or even if y'all want to hear the story on how I met Scott Storch, I need y'all to run this video up. You feel me? Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Sheesh. You feel me? Because we don't wait to 1,000 subscribers, though. Like we're like right there. Like we're knocking at the door of 1,000 subscribers. So y'all be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You feel me? If y'all want to hear the other stories, y'all know what to do. Run this up. And let's get this thing rolling. Other than that, man, it's your boy Lyrical Voice, Lyrical God, Lyrical Voice, man. Mr. Life Empire himself, Mr. LVS Design, Mr. Trending Motherfucking Topic. You heard? Rest in peace, take off.